How's it going, YouTube? JamesTheKid00 here, coming at you guys with a regional report. I ended up going to Bristol Regionals yesterday. It's now Sunday, on Saturday. And I need to give a little bit of a premise before of the story of why I actually ended up going to this event. I originally didn't want to go to Bristol because I have a lot of work to do, and I was just going to go to my locals instead. It was a lot cheaper. It meant I wouldn't have to pay for trains and things like that to get there. And then the day before Bristol Regionals, I was then told my locals was going to be cancelled because everyone else was going to Bristol. So I was like, forget that, I want my Yu-Gi-Oh fix. I ended up last minute booking a train to Bristol literally at half 10 o'clock. Yeah, half 10 at night, the night before when I got in. No, I was at my friend's house and I went, I need to use your computer, I need to book this train. And I ended up going literally on a whim. I didn't have anything built at the time because I built chain summon gadgets to take to locals. So they were in these sleeves. I literally had to pull them out of these sleeves, completely dismantle the deck. And I just net decked someone's Mermail build because I wanted to play a new one, I wanted to play something different. So I ended up net decking Joshua Schmidt. I liked his build when I first saw it from YCS Berlin. And I used his exact main deck, but I used my own extra inside, mainly because some of the side deck components I either didn't have or I wasn't happy with playing, and there was one Trollsy pick. I did want to play a Troll pick. And the extra is very similar because I loaned stuff out before Bristol Regionals thinking I wasn't going to go, and I did end up going, and I'd loaned stuff out, so I had to borrow more stuff. So there were a few things that I didn't play that I wanted to play, but hey, that's that. Either way, I've regaled you with enough of a story. I'm just going to get into the list. I took 9th place, as you'll see in the title. So I must say, before we get into this, I am a little bit salty about that. I lost round 1 and round 6. So we're only 6 rounds. It wasn't huge. Bristol has a very small venue. They could only fit 50 people. So like it is what it is. It's not one of the huge Titanic events that say you get in America, where it's the odd 500-person regionals to 1,000-person regionals. 50 people. In the UK, we only have small regionals. Like, we have maximum 100 to 120. The one I won was on 100-man regionals, so that was a big regionals for me. Anyway, let's get into the list. So this is Joshua Schmidt's build card for card. So the one lead, this was good. I sided it out against fire a lot because everyone was playing +1 fire, so I know none of them were playing the trap. So I felt the Megalo was the big enough muscle guy to get out of the deck, because if I attack my opponent's bear with Megalo, it means that Lance means they crash. So like the worst case scenario was Lance says they crash. So lead was okay, but I sided it out in the fire matchup, but I kept it in for everything else. The one Megalo, I dropped this twice. It was okay. I drew it dead in my final game, game 3. Not dead. I just opened it with Gund Turge, and there was like literally nothing I could do. I could just summon it and drop the Turge as well, but it was horrible. Triple Teus, these were crazy good. I never got off the Aqua Spirit turn 1 play, but I managed to do it mid game once. So the Aqua Spirit Turge Oshia play, I managed to do it mid game once, but I never ever opened the play, which got me a bit upset. But Oshia was still good. Triple Lind. I lie, actually. Oshia was terrible. Triple Lind, because you got to play the Triple Lind. I drew these far too often, to be honest. My spheres were dead a couple of times because I'd seen all 3 Linds, and I hardly even searched them off of my Pike. I think I only ever searched it off of Pike twice in the whole day, and I had these dead a lot. I had these in hand a lot. Triple Gund, you have to play 3 Gund because of the 4 play. This is the rank 4. This is the rank 4 deck, so you have to play these. And then finally for the last 3, I played 1 Oshia. Oshia was really subpar today because yesterday because I opened it a lot. I opened it a lot without combo pieces, and I misplayed the combo in round 6 as well. I won that game, but I misplayed the opening play where I could have put I could have put the Mechcrypt Engineer Lind on the field that Joshua Schmidt talked about in his video, saying that it's really difficult for a 5-fist to grind game into, but I misplayed, and I accidentally brought out a 4 instead of bringing out the second Lind. But I still won that game, but I then lost games 1 and 3. I lost games 1 and 3, but I won that game too. Triple Pike. Triple Pike was Triple Pike. It was great. No complaints there. Double Turge, I actually got really upset at this card at the event. Playing double Turge when I played this deck at locals was great, but I opened this so often, it was so painful. Because you just can't use it until mid to late game. You can't use this effect unless you've seen a Lind already. I literally had to wait for a Sphere to come along, or I had to burn a Marksman or a Gund into the graveyard to make this card live. So it was really, really awkward, and especially in the hand where I opened this Gund Megalo, I couldn't do anything. It was this Gund Megalo Dust MST and like one other card, which wasn't Sphere, and it was hideous. But it is what it is. It's really good late game, and it won me so many games later on in their games. But as a first turn card, it's terrible. For the Atlanteans, the One Dragoons, this is kind of subpar actually. Like, this is almost worth cutting because there's so few good targets to search. I mean, this is good when you play like heavy infantry and you play Diva, but in this deck you can literally search lead and marksman. And Megalo. You just don't need them. And this was just kind of a bit subpar. I mean, it's an 1804, but it just wasn't that great. Then Double Marksman. This was cool. I never felt the need for the third, so Double Marksman was a thing. No heavy infantry. I took the plunge. I actually played against what are they called? Evil Swarm, and I had no problem with it because I was only playing 3 7s. So Evil Swarm was no problem because you're playing so many 4s. So the people who say you need heavy infantry for this variant of the deck are completely wrong because you really don't. Evil Swarm should not be a problem for you because you don't. This isn't a 7 deck. This is a 4 deck. We play double Aqua Spirit. I never had this when I needed it. I was able to open up a couple of plays and I was able to make some pretty nice Exiton plays with this and Pike, but it was okay. I never had it for the Teus play. And then the one title for the title play, because title is cool, and I can't pick up my monsters as per usual. Title was another really stunning card that I feel shouldn't be in the game, because it gave this deck such a huge advantage when I could get to it. I also didn't play the Undines because Joshua Schmidt didn't play it, but also when I was testing the deck last week or the week before last, when I played Mermail last, the Undine and Controller were just so bad, so didn't want to play them. For the spell lineup, 3 Upsell Goblins because it's filler. You don't play extra bad cards to make yourself go up to 40. Just play cards that let you skip through your deck. 3 MST. You need the 3 MST for fire and water, and I played I think 3 fire across the day. Yeah, 3 fire. So this was good. This was really nice, and the Samurai matchup that I played round 2. This is nice. So there's those. For the traps, I played Trouble Reckless. Again, this was a net deck, but I really hate this. This is horrible. I'm never playing the Reckless Greed variant again. And I'm really looking forward to the new format because I hate the Hoban. I hate Hoban theory. Reckless in this deck is terrible. So, Reckless, double breakthrough. This should be an ulti, but I had to play a horrible Ultra because I was loaning out my 2 of my ultis. This is my 3rd. So I had to last minute build this. But it was good. It was good. Double breakthrough was great. I never wanted it to be Phoenix Chain, and I never wanted them to be Veiler, so breakthroughs were good. Torrential, Warning, Triple Sphere, and then the one Squall. This was great. This won me 3 games. Squall was cool. It's a searchable return from the different dimension. Think of it like that. So that is the complete main deck. Onto the extra deck. I'm really happy to bring this extra deck to you in Player's Choice sleeves because I was playing it on the day in those god-awful, I can't even find them anymore, here they are, sleeves from the special edition, these horrible things, and I hated it so much, so I'm so glad I was able to find more sleeves lying around, even though I have, like, loads lying on my desk, right there, but, I don't know. Anyway, continuing on, I've just ruined the positioning of the camera now. Continuing on, this is the extra deck. The extra deck has a couple of changes from his build, but it's pretty similar. So the one Engineer, you need it for the play, even though I never made the play. I made this a couple of times, and it was pretty solid. I did eventually have it out with a Bahamut Shark, because when I misplayed, and I was left with this and Turge, I was able to then, my opponent didn't go aggressive, he just went card E pass, and I was like, okay, and now I can summon another 4 and make the Bahamut Shark play. So I managed to slow roll that play, but it was bad otherwise. 1 Alucard. I was convinced to play this over the second Dweller because I didn't have a second Dweller and I had a free space. And I wanted to play Mace Stroke, because I really like Mace Stroke, but my friend was all like, play Alucard, you're going to need this, and I made it twice. It got bottomless once, and the other time it actually killed the back row, and it was kind of good. It was good in the Samurai matchup as well, because it managed to get me around the back row that was protecting Shien. Levier for the combo plays. I made this twice. Once it got Fiendish Chained, and the other time, I think it resolved it. I can't honestly remember, but I know I made it twice, and it was okay. It was there when I needed it. Double Trite, I actually needed Double Trite 3 times, so Double Trite was good. It was great for really slow games when my opponent couldn't get over me, or they had a monster that I couldn't get past. So Double Trite was good. Bahamut Shark is just huge and beefy, and I regret having a German one because like so many people wanted to read it, so it was so annoying because of the fact that I was making it attacking, and then main phase 2 using its effect because of the way it's worded, saying you can't attack for the rest of the turn, so you can go attack and then main phase 2 activate the effect. But everyone wanted to read it to check that, and I was like, I'm really sorry, it's in German, so I had to get translations so often, and I didn't have an English copy. Continuing with the 4s, the One Dweller, I managed to borrow this back off of my friend, who'd managed to then borrow himself a new one, because this was on loan to my friend James, who, congratulations to him, did actually top the regionals. He took 6th place. So I guess loaning him cards was worthwhile, but it was still a pain, because there was that. This should be a Laval chain, but it's currently on loan to my friend James, who then loaned it on to his friend, who took it to Birmingham Regionals and topped that Regionals, so I'm kind of happy that it got loaned out. But this was a Laval chain. I needed it so often, and I was panicking going to this Regionals, because I knew I was going to need it a lot. And I managed to borrow one literally with like 5 minutes before we turned in our deck lists, so that was Laval chain. Then, continuing on with the 4s, 101, made this 3 times, got me around an Ophion, got me around all sorts, so this was cool. One Cowboy, I actually won a game with this. Joshua Schmidt said in his video, you're basically playing a rank 4 toolbox with this, and in any rank 4 toolbox you don't want to lose because you don't have Cowboy. So the Cowboy was in there, and it did actually win me a game for 800 burn per game. So that was that. And then finally the last 4 I played was one Exiton Knight, which I made 4 times and resolved 4 times. It was absolutely outrageous. I really liked Exiton. It was such a powerful card. And then for my 7s, because you've got to play 7s in Mermail, I played 1 Dracosack. I wanted to play 2, but one of mine was loaned out to my friend, so I was only able to play 1. I was dreading it because I normally make Dracosack a lot, but I only ever made it once in the whole event, and it got warninged, so I never needed it. I never needed even the 1 Dracosack, really. The 1 Big Eye, I made this twice and resolved it twice. It was great. It was really good. And then 2 Gaius, because this was the replacement for my 2nd Dracosack, because I had to loan out. And I made one Gaius once. I never needed the 2nd one, I never needed the 2nd Dracosack. So that was that, I guess. Like, it was no problem not having the extra one. So that is the entire extra deck for the side. The side is pretty trollsy, but at the same time it's fairly functional. There's only like 2 trollsy picks, and the 2 trollsy picks are what I'm going to show you first. I played 1 Jinzo for burn, and actually sided in this in the fire matchup against the builds that I identified were playing a lot of traps. I drew this guy once, summoned him, managed to get a fair push of damage in, and then my opponent summoned, drew Tanky, played it, got bear, killed it. That was that. So Jinzo, Mole. I was playing Mole because you don't normal summon that often. I wanted to have a bit of fun with it. So Mole was a card. It was a good laugh. So. Grand Mole, there's a crazy amount of noise coming from outside now. 1 Crow, because of Crow. Crow was good. Triple Maxi. Maxi was just really good in the Theory of the Mirror, but I don't think I actually played the Mirror. I can't honestly remember what my round 3 was, and that's kind of upsetting me because I really want to remember it. But I played the Triple Maxi, and I'm just going to close my window because there's noise coming from outside. I really can't think what it's coming from, but living on a student campus, you know, random noises do happen. But the Triple Maxi were in there. I honestly never needed it, as far as I'm aware. I honestly can't remember. I played Harpies round 3. I played Harpies. I never needed these, ever. So the Triple Maxi was there, but they never went in. Oh no, sorry, they went in against Samurai, and they were actually really good because he played through all my Maxis. But that was it. Double Zombie World for Prophecy, Gigia, anything that needed to just stay the same type, Bujin. I never played against any of that, so Double Zombie World was dead. The 1 Twister, Twister was alright. I drew a horrendous amount of back row hate in some of my games. It's actually one of the reasons why I lost one of my games, because I oversided, and I really need to learn that Patrick Open theory of not oversiding, but learning curve, I'm still not perfect. Then for the traps, double dust tornado, double debunk, needle ceiling, and one full house, because I tested it. And full house was actually the draw on the turn I lost. I was losing pretty hard to Fire Fist, and I drew full house, completely dead. Set it and it got Geocode instantly. I sided this in against every Fire Fist matchup. Every time I set it, it was dead, or I got Geocode. Never resolved it, so this is coming straight out. I don't like full house in this deck. So I got convinced to play it. So that was a thing that happened. But yeah, guys, this has been my Regionals report. I'm just a little bit upset that I lost final round, because I really wanted to top Bristol again after I won it last year. And after playing out of my round 1 loss, it was pretty sad to not actually top in the end. Both of my losses went on to top 8. The Fire Fist player I lost to took 8th. The Fire Fist player I lost to round 1 took 8th place, I believe, and then the Fire Fist player I lost to round 6 took 4th. Which is kind of sad, because if I'd have topped, it meant if I'd have won the game, I would have taken 4th. Got myself another cool green deck box. I mean, I still have my one from Cardiff still wrapped up here. I don't open these. I still have my blue one from Bristol last year, actually. Still sealed. But it is what it is. It was a good event. It was a good laugh. It was good to see my friends in Bristol again. Really sad that Olympia Yo wasn't there, because he's now moved away from Bristol. So it would have been nice to see Will, but oh well. Those are the few shout-outs I wanted to give. To explain my matchups over the day, round 1, I played against Fire. I won game 1 and then lost games 2 and 3. It happens. Like, this deck is... I found this deck to be slightly inconsistent. I'm really not a big fan of this format. I actually really like Fire, this format, but I don't have it and I don't want to invest in it, so... it is what it is. Let me think. Round 2, I played against Samurai. He was a fairly inexperienced player. He seemed to have been playing Samurai for a while, but there were situations where he could have gone into Dweller and he didn't have it, or he didn't make it. So I was kind of like, oh, okay, I can just go nuts. Round 3, I played against Harpies, against a friend of a friend, and I feel kind of bad for putting him out because he travelled from Exeter to get there. But Harpies, I basically drew much better than him in game 3, long story short. And I managed to win that. Round 4, I played against Evil Swarm. Evil Swarm was a pretty rough matchup. There was actually a situation where I had my Bahamut Shark, I made one trite. My opponent then made Evil Swarm Bahamut, took my Bahamut Shark, and I then next turn made Big Eye, took my Bahamut Shark back, and then detached from it and got another trite. So that Bahamut Shark went all over the place. It was kind of funny. Round 5, I played against my friend Ash, who I travelled to the event with. I always hate playing against people that I travelled to the event with, because it makes it feel like a wasted journey, especially when we're both one loss away from not topping. But sadly, it happened. Round 1, he found himself on the upper hand, but he critically misplayed, and there's no other way for me to say that. And I'm afraid it did cost him the game, sadly. Game 2, I opened pretty dire, and my opponent just opened he just really opened really nutty. And then game 3, I thought I had opened terribly. I opened, I think it was Lind, Dust Tornado, MST, and then Sphere. I think it was something to that nature. So I was like, well, this is going to be pretty awkward. And then he didn't really open any of his actual monsters, but he opened Tankies, which gave me a way to actually use my Tornadoes and my MSTs, because I ended up drawing another MST for the next turn as my 7th card. And I was actually able to come back into the game because I was able to shut him out of his own back row because of the amount of back row hate that I had opened. So it was like the one situation in which the overside actually helped. So I won that 2-1. I don't think I ever 2-0'd a matchup, except for the Samurai player. It's kind of embarrassing. I normally 2-0 people with Mermail quite a bit. And then round 6, I played against a Fire Fist player again. So my 3rd Fire matchup. I hate playing against Fire because it's so linear. It's so advantage based, and Exiton rapes it, but it's so linear in a lot of its plays. I really like adventurous decks like Mermail that actually kind of have to work and generate advantage sometimes. To an extent, it's not that much of a skilled deck, but it's more skilled than Fire. Not to discredit any Fire player's skill. All the Fire players I played against were incredibly skilled players. They were very good, and they played around me very well. But I lost game 1 to the Fire player. It was a fairly good game, fairly drawn out. Game 2, again after another drawn out situation, I managed to win. Game 1 though, the problem was my opponent went set 5 card cuddy, go. I managed to bait out a couple of his back row as 1-for-1ing, but then he goes draw for turn, set 2 more back row, summon card cuddy, go. And he just generated so much back row advantage. By the end of game 1, I knew almost every trap he played in his deck. I knew that he played double mirror, double D prison, double fiendish chain, bottomless solemn warning, torrential. I knew all of his traps because I'd seen them all and baited them all. And he played 1 black horn, and it was horrible. I had to play through every trap in his deck until I eventually lost. Game 2, I managed to play around his traps because I knew exactly what he was playing. And then game 3, I opened. I think it was MST Dust, Megalo, Turge Gund, and one other dead spell trap that I can't honestly remember. I think it might have been like a Reckless or something. No, I cited my Recklesses out. But it was pretty unusable. And he goes set 4, and he has his bear play. And I'm in a situation where he goes first, and I have to drop the Megalo and the Turge. Just to get me somewhere, to get me to the Sphere. The Sphere gets MST'd. It was hideous, and I just got wrecked. So that was it. I was really praying that I'd top 8 at X2, because the guy who actually beat me round 1 went X2 and still top 8'd. But it is what it is. I'm a little salty about the loss, don't get me wrong, but I've got my invite already. It was a nice day out. It was a good laugh, and I got in a few things that I needed for various deck projects. And bought the rest on Troll and Toad when I got in. So I have quite a few things coming. Quite a few things in the mail for a few projects. But otherwise, that's all the rambling I want to do. Hope you guys have enjoyed. This has been Jamie the Kid 00, and I'll see you guys next time with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Related content. Peace out. Bye-bye.